Do you have a brilliant startup idea but are stuck in the launching phase? Are you feeling overwhelmed by funding, marketing, or just where to start? Don't let your startup idea stay grounded. Visit our website at eapla.com to schedule a Blue Couch meeting and launch your startup journey today.
Welcome back. Matt, we're still in season 12.
Great.
And you're back with me.
Whatever you tell me, Dave, I have no idea.
Okay. Yeah, I'm like, when Jessica told me we were on season 12, I was like, really? I didn't realize that. But we got DJ with us today, and it's Red Wolf Marketing.
Yeah, media, yeah. Red Wolf Media.
And a true podcast expert. We finally have somebody
Yeah,
that knows
we got
what
somebody
they're doing.
that knows what they're doing. That's doing it every day.
Yeah.
So what is it that you do?
Man, a lot. President of multiple businesses, Red Wolf Media being the main one. Podcast host since 2019. I've been doing it since pre-COVID, back when we had a little nook in the Cohab facility. So it's been that long ago. And also have Pork and Fork catering and a equipment rental business as well, Mammoth Equipment Rental. So do a lot of things, but Red Wolf Media is kind of my primary focus right now.
And where's that located?
We're in the East Bank, right next to Bojack's, right downtown Bossier.
Okay.
So, yeah.
So you're right in the heart of all the action
So
there.
East Bank, just for my brain, I remember when like the East Bank thing was announced and we would go down there and looking at the street.
Yeah.
What year was that?
So Bojack's opened in 2018 down there.
Okay.
So it's been that long ago, but
It
there's
doesn't feel like it.
No, and there's been a lot of stuff happened since then. You know, like essentially it was just that one restaurant.
Right.
And then
Yeah.
everything, the entire block's developed from
So
that
that's
one restaurant.
7 years
Yeah.
we've gotten from basically downtown Bossier was nothing.
There was nothing on that street. One Italian restaurant. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know
was
how
it.
it survived all those years.
Yeah,
It was so
it-
good.
And then you had Flying Heart who come in and which
Heart.
was great because they came in before we did on the other end, and kind of started bringing the area up, and then we got on the other end and kind of developed back towards that way.
And Streetcar Snowballs moved in right
Yeah.
there on the corner, and they're doing great.
Yeah.
So Chasing Aces is open. Okay.
Yeah.
Have you seen any changes on the East Bank with that?
Yeah, I mean, what's great about that is it's just one more thing to kind of interconnect everything we're doing. We're all about collaboration. Doesn't matter what type of business it is, whether it's consumer, business to business, whatever it is. So yeah, you definitely see an uptick in traffic. People able to go there, come back to our side, and vice versa.
Yeah, I was gonna ask, like with live opening and now
Yeah,
that's kind of what
that
you
too.
were talking about on the street.
You're in the best situation. You
Right.
got live, and we went to live. We went to the Luck Foods, I think it is, this weekend with my girls. We went there, and I've done Chasing Aces, and I've done everything in between. I kind of like where you guys are right in the middle there.
Yeah, right in the heart of it now. It's pretty cool to see it transform. Now we just need this boardwalk to fill up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well,
DJ, you remember when
we could do a lot of podcasts on that one.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay.
You remember when we were young, like coming back from college and stuff, like the Cub area
Yeah.
and Flanagan's and
Yeah.
all that was like the spot where all our age kind of people. I feel like that's what East Bank has kind of taken over.
Yeah, it really has. But the great thing about it too is that it's all ages, right? And and there's free.
Yeah, because you're right. Those places were like
Right,
just us.
But which is still a great time. But
Yeah.
it's that vibe, but mixed with all ages, and you don't have to worry about safety. There's always officers on duty, and never really any significant
And
drama.
ride share, okay? Because I was just
That too,
telling
yeah.
our guys here, I remember when the Red River District was at its heyday, all right? And everybody came to Shreveport on the weekend, okay? And we partied until we couldn't party anymore, and then we crashed on somebody's couch here in Shreveport, okay? Now with rideshare, I kind of thought that it would come back. And there would be, more of a all-night scene there.
Yeah. Well, where we're at is actually an open container district, which is cool. And then, just being able to connect that, like I said, if we have that last piece where we can interconnect seamlessly all the casinos to the East Bank and then all the way to Chasing Aces, that would be the perfect scenario. We're still pushing for that, and there's conversations about that. And of course, everyone has their opinion about these situations as far as that area diminishing a little bit, as far as the businesses and rent being too high, stuff like that. So we're having those conversations, and some people were talking about some stuff, and hopefully we'll see it all interconnect.
I hear there might even be pickleball over there.
We'll see, man. We'll see.
Yeah.
So everybody, you know, it's Shreveport versus Bossier. It's you know, everybody. All that stuff. You and I have always we look for ways to work together, different things. How can we encourage that in our city?
Man, I think it's just a generational thing. I feel like people are understanding more and more that collaborative efforts are just the way to go no matter what. I mean, whether it's, you know, event marketing to, you know, restaurants working together, collabs from breweries and food trucks. Like, we see the success in all of that. I mean, it just copy and paste it to every industry and it works, you know?
Right. I do agree with you that, like, our generation and below us feels a little better at that to me than some of the generations
You're less
above.
geographically bound probably than, say, somebody in my group that you got to make the call.
And I think the old school way of like the old Southern traditions of who were your parents and what clubs are you members of and all, that is all getting watered down. It still exists in our community, but nobody cares anymore. At the end of the day, I feel like it's about how do we make our area better? How do we make money? How do we all win together? I think that it's realistic. You're unrealistic if you don't admit that the population's declining. We have struggles, but a lot of people are moving forward and doing great things here.
I would agree, they are. That's why we call this on the cusp, because we really think that Shreveport Bossier is on the cusp of something bigger.
Yeah.
Do you get that feeling?
Yeah, I really do. And I'm getting it more and more. I mean, before I made the decision to kind of double down here, I was really looking at moving. And everyone has that conversation, right? We're going to move to Tyler or towards Dallas or whatever. And in my industry, I can make probably 3 times the money in those markets. But I really just kind of put my nose to the ground and kind of focused on what we had going on here and realized that, man, I have it. It's all right here in front of me.
Yeah,
Like,
I was in Dallas.
Yeah.
I was at an event in Dallas, I told Matt the other day, and I was really impressed. I was. But when I left, I went, there's no reason why you can't do any of this in Shreveport Bossier.
Exactly.
Okay, let me go there with you because this is interesting to me. I'm always big about how many years we're falling behind all these cities and catching up to them and getting more of that here and all that. And I do think that's important. But what's cooler to me is what y'all have done at the East Bank District is not a copy, it's your own culture. Like, I go over there and I'm like, you can feel it, and it's not anything I've ever gone to in another city. It's your own deal.
It's like a mix between Austin and New Orleans and then
the country.
and then Nashville. You know what I mean? With a little
That's exactly what I thought.
Yeah.
That's what I thought when I was in Dallas. I said, well, look, people will drive from Dallas to come here to get that vibe because it is a very different vibe than if you go in that rebuilt strip area of Dallas. It's cool. You know, there's lots of barbecue places and stuff over there, but we got the same thing.
Everybody can hate on the casinos or whatever your opinion on the casino is, but the casinos are actively bringing people from out of town here.
Absolutely.
We would not
Go
have-
through there and see how many Texas license plates when we were at Live the
We
other
would
day.
not have anything down there if it weren't for them. The amount of traffic those places bring in, and just whenever like there's construction issues, you see a significant decline in business. You know, so like being right there, centrally located, and by those casinos is 100% a huge part of the growth rate for sure.
And those people now, when they come to town, and before they were driving through a dead Bossier downtown, they're going to the casino and going, oh, the Horseshoe's nice, but Shreveport Bossier sucks.
Yeah.
Now they're driving through, they're coming out, they're going, seeing the cool things happening there, and they go back with a different opinion of our area. I mean, I think it's so important what's happening. I mean, I met Bo and Peanut when they still had their place out on Cross Lake.
Yeah,
in that
Lakeshore,
yeah. And I mean, like, if you would have told me they were going to change the shape of Bossier City, and I think you guys have.
Yeah, man, I'm just a small piece of it. I've just been fortunate enough to, meet those guys as they were coming up, and then my similar role in marketing like you are, just being able to try to connect and cross market and collaborate is kind of put me where I'm at now.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, it helps everybody when things are getting better.
Yeah, for sure.
Absolutely.
I mean,
Definitely.
I need places. I had a guy that works with a nonprofit that works in inner city stuff, and he had this lady from somewhere coming in, and he was like, where do I take her to eat? And I was like, well, what do we want to show her? And I mean, you have so many options now.
Yeah, I mean,
You can show somebody anything you want them to think.
our food scene here is phenomenal, man. It really is. I've had
Definitely.
discussions with people.
Oh.
And, I was talking to someone the other day and just mentioning, like, people don't realize how many great chefs we have in this area, how many great pit masters, how many, just great culinary artists we have. I mean,
The food scene 15 years ago to now
oh, completely different.
is crazy.
Yeah.
If we could take what's happened in that industry and do it in other industries, we would catch up to every city in the South.
I believe you could.
Because-
there's nothing in Dallas or Houston that you can't do.
Our
here.
restaurant scene is better than Lafayette, is way better than Tyler. I travel to those places all the time, spend tons of time on business in those cities.
Yeah.
And they have good restaurants. But their good restaurants aren't as good as our good restaurants, and they don't have near the variety.
Yeah. So, DJ, one of the topics we always get into here is I say that we are very hard on ourselves. I mean, there's a lot of people out there that really want to bash Shreveport, Bossier, and it's easy. Do you see that?
I used to. I really don't look at that. I don't know. I don't see it anymore because I don't think I'm in that headspace to even have a conversation. I feel like I'm just trying to continually push forward, whether it's, like I said.
Maybe that's the right attitude.
Yeah.
Maybe if more people accepted that and said, look, if you focus on the positive, you don't have time to worry about the negative.
We were talking about that last time. I don't think it's as cool to bash on Shreveport Bossier anymore as
used
it
to be.
was
used to
5 or
be.
6 years ago.
It used to be, but there wasn't that much going on. And this, like I said, post-COVID, we've seen a significant change in culture here, and I think for the better.
Me too.
When you look at numbers, I know that population, income, those conversations come into play. But I mean, if you look at all the outlying areas that are growing so much, Providence area, South Shreveport, Stonewall, Benton, North Bossier, all those areas, Halton, like all those areas,
yeah.
they're bringing it back up. It's kind of like it gets worse from the outside.
Yeah.
I mean, inside out to back in.
When did Halton become a big deal? Man, I hear about Halton every week, I feel like. Somebody's like, oh, dude, have you seen what's happening in Halton?
Yeah.
I'm like,
Oh my
dude, I
gosh.
couldn't have found Halton when I was
You
in
are
high
so right.
That's where I graduated from, too.
Did you
Yeah, I
really?
grew up there my whole life.
Oh, wow. Well, my daughter's fiance, he just bought a house for them in Houghton. And then he starts telling me about all the traffic issues getting out of Houghton in the morning to go to work. I'm like, there's traffic in Houghton?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's grown so much.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, when I was there, it was like barely a 4A school. Now it's insane. I mean, they built 3 or 4 new schools, and it's grown so much.
Well, that's great. I love it.
Yeah.
All that's happened in the past, less than a decade, and the conversation changed, and just things are different,
Nobody said it before. You just said it, and I hadn't thought about it, and I think you're right. Post-COVID was a solid shift for our community.
Mm-hmm.
I think it like some people that would have held things back and fought hard, that kind of wore them down. They were like, kind of got out of the way a little bit. And then I think other people had time to get fired up and go coming off the back of
I think
COVID.
a lot of people, their businesses, they figured out, okay, I do have to pivot and I do have to do this.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. And that hit them hard and they went, okay, I can do this. If I can make that, I can make this work.
Yeah, surviving through that downtime. If you can, they come out of that, with the fire. I mean, there's been so much that's blossomed out of that.
This
so.
old lady in the neighborhood above Betty, Virginia, when I came back from COVID to do Crawfest again, she walked down and she said, I got bad news for you, Matt. I said, what's that, Miss Linda? And she said, I've had 2.5 years to get ready to battle you. I said, oh, man, Miss Linda, okay.
She had too much time on her hands.
Yeah,
Man.
she was waiting for me for 2.5 years.
Man.
Oh, wow. That hurts. Well, some people are like that.
No.
So what's next for you? What do you think the future is for you?
Man, I really, I'm in a part to where I'm just worried about growing these businesses the right way. We have great teams under each, umbrella, and doubling down on them, growth there, and then just really continuing to grow and get, more people here, guests on the, whether it's guests in the restaurants or the venues or guests on the podcast. I think growth is the main focus for me right now. And it's not a number thing. It's more just like let's just see how we can like project our culture to those people.
Yeah, keep inspiring
that.
the young
Yeah.
people, because that's the thing that I think y'all have that I've kind of lost through the years, is my contact with young people living in our area.
Yeah.
And that's really where the passion is for me, is like, how many of these people can we bring back to our community and get them to think like we think? Because if you don't, dude,
Right.
we're
They're all
getting
going to
older and
Dallas.
older.
Yeah.
You know?
They all think they got to go to Dallas or they got to go to Denver.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And there's plenty to do here.
I appreciate that a lot when I look at a guy like DJ or Bob or
Right.
whoever, that like, hey, if you are a young person coming back, you got to have role models. You got to have somebody you can see making it and winning.
Yeah.
And we definitely need to promote those. Well, DJ, thanks. This has been great. I appreciate it, and best of luck over there on the East,
yeah,
man.
man. Thank y'all. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely.
No problem. All
Thanks,
right.
man.
Enjoy the podcast? We would love your feedback about today's show and who you think should be our next guest. Send us an email at info@eapla.com. Also, be sure to share the show and leave a comment on our social media post.